If you're a stock photographer, you absolutely know the feeling. You pour everything into creating these incredible photos, but when you try to get them found on Google, it's just a massive black hole. Well, in this explainer, we are going to unlock the blueprint to fix that.
It is the most frustrating feeling, isn't it? You upload a technically perfect, just beautiful image to Adobe Stock. You follow every single rule, and then nothing. Crickets. Someone searches Google for the exact thing you shot, and your work is completely invisible. You are not alone in this, I promise you.
And this leads us to what I call the stock photo paradox. See, to get discovered on a giant like Google, just being on Adobe Stock isn't enough anymore. You actually have to build your authority and your presence outside of the platform. So let's dig into what that really means.
But before we go venturing off platform, we have to perfect the foundation, right where it all begins, inside Adobe Stock itself. You know, mastering your metadata isn't just about checking a box. It is the most critical first step you can possibly take.
Okay, here is a super simple trick, but it has a huge impact. Your image title on Adobe Stock, it literally becomes part of its web address, the URL. And for Google, that's a massive SEO signal. So instead of a vague title like couple in park, get descriptive. Try something like gay couple hugging in the park. You want to aim for about 70 characters of natural, really specific language. Now, take a look at this number, 10. Why is this number so important? Well, because according to Adobe's own algorithm, the first 10 keywords you list carry something like 90% of the search weight. This isn't a suggestion, it's basically a rule. The order of your keywords is quite literally everything.
So, how should you order them then? It's all about hierarchy. You start with the primary subject. Who is in it? What is it? Where is it? Next, you pull in the most important words from that awesome descriptive title you just wrote. Then, you can add the secondary details and actions. And finally, you finish up with those conceptual words. You know, the mood, the theme. This tells the algorithm exactly what your photo is about and who it's for.
Okay, so with our foundation rock solid, let's move on to the real game changer. Seriously, this is the part that separates the hobbyist from the pros. It's time to build your own digital home.
This quote from Google's very own John Mueller, it says it all. See, Google doesn't just see your photo in a vacuum. It analyzes the entire page that it lives on for context and authority. A generic stock gallery page with thousands of other images, it just doesn't have that unique context. And that, right there, is the core problem we have to solve.
And here it is. This is exactly why you need your own website. Just look at this. On Adobe Stock, you have zero control over some of the most powerful SEO factors, things like the image file name, the alt text, the surrounding copy. But on your own portfolio, you get full absolute control over every single one. You're not just playing on their field anymore, you are making your own rules.
So here's the digital showroom strategy. Your personal portfolio, it isn't a replacement for Adobe Stock. Think of it as the beautiful front window display. You create dedicated pages or blog posts for your best images, and then, now here's the key, the images themselves link directly to your Adobe Stock licensing page. And the descriptive alt text you write, like license authentic photo of Thai street food vendor, becomes this powerful signal telling Google exactly what that link is for.
Okay, so you've got your foundation on Adobe locked down, and you have your central hub, your website. Now it's time to build the roads that actually lead to it. We need to create a whole content ecosystem, what I call a visibility web, that drives traffic and builds authority.
Your blog, that's the engine for this entire system. It's your lead magnet. But I don't mean just posting photos. You need to write articles that your ideal clients are already searching for. You gotta think like them. A blog post titled 10 Unforgettable Photo Spots in Chiang Mai, filled with your own licensable images? Well, that's a magnet for the exact traffic you want. You're providing value, and that builds trust and gets Google's attention.
So, where do you promote all this great content? You have to be strategic. The key difference between Pinterest and Instagram is their function. Pinterest is a visual search engine. Your pins can drive traffic to your website for months, even years. Instagram, on the other hand, is a community platform. It's great for building your brand personality, but its direct SEO impact is very low. You've got to use each tool for its specific strength. Okay, I know, this all sounds great, but how do you actually start without getting totally overwhelmed? Let's break it all down into a concrete 3-phase action plan. This is how you really make it happen.
Here is how you can tackle this without getting bogged down. We've broken it into 3 simple phases. First up, the foundation. For 1 month, just focus on one thing: auditing and reordering the keywords for your top 100 images on Adobe Stock. That's it. Then, phase 2 is building your hub. Over the next couple of months, get that simple portfolio site online. And finally, phase 3, which is ongoing, is about starting that content engine. Just 1 blog post and a few promotional pins is all you need to get the flywheel spinning.
And how do you know if any of your efforts are actually paying off? You track the data. It's that simple. Inside Adobe Stock, you're going to watch your downloads per image. In your Google Analytics, look for growth in your organic traffic. And over on Pinterest, track your outbound clicks. The data never lies. It'll show you exactly what's working so you can do more of it.
Ultimately, this whole strategy, it really comes down to a fundamental shift in your mindset. It asks a pretty powerful question. Are you just a contributor, one person among millions? Or are you building a brand, becoming the go-to authority in your niche? The opportunity, it's right there for the taking.